Good evening, everybody, and welcome to day 7, Le Tour de France, Le Tour de Beer. We are a week in. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy tour so far, and it's been a crazy choice of beers. So, if you're just joining us, here's what we do here with Team Beer Guts. I'm Uncle Frank, and we are tasting and talking about a different beer every day of the Tour de France. You can go back and check other things out. I almost swore there, sorry. Uh, but follow along, and the best way to do that is to subscribe to the Team Beer Guts channel. And we will talk about beer, sometimes some biking stuff, and especially today, a little bit quick quip about today's stage, and then beer news as far as styles and beers and things like that. Like, subscribe, share, bell notification, all those things. It's YouTube, you know how it works. Anyway, so let's jump real quick into a quick recap of today's stage before we get into this beer. Uh, really good stage today. Some exciting things in that the way I look at it is if you take a deck of cards and you throw it on the floor and everything scatters all over the place, that's what happened to the GC today. When people talk about your typical things or the I don't know, that transition stage, that didn't happen. And I like that because the new guys, the young guns, are like, no, man, it's racing. If I have an opportunity to be able to take seconds off of you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And it forced some of the old guys, so we got to get into that. The old guys even look young. Vincenzo Nibali, he looked really impressive today. Really kind of fought that out towards the end. I was like, you know what, this dude might get a stage win. But it came down to who was your yellow jersey leader on the front, just behind the breakaway leader who ended up winning it. I'm going to butcher his name. Jeez. You know what? I'm not going to butcher his name. You got to look it up. I will tell you that now he has won a stage in the Tour de France, the Giro d'Italia, and the Vuelta a España. And it's I wrote it down, Metu Morech. This is why I don't do this like professionally. So yeah, Morich, I think is how you say his name. It's spelled differently, so I'm not really sure. But he won, young kid, and also a countryman of Tadej Pogacar. And Pogacar is one of the favorites right now, who dropped down. However, the Pogacar group managed to hang on with the Alaphilippe group to catch Richard Carapaz, who put in a huge attack and looked like he was going to take time out of everybody else. They caught him. The time didn't matter, except for Primoz Roglic, who broke. So he's a little bit more far back. And even with the Carapaz attack, he's still in 12th in GC. 13th to JC is Geraint Thomas. To me, that's a surprise. I don't know what the time difference is between 12 and 13, but the fact that only one spot away from each other, and I thought G's race was done. I found that to be interesting. So watched the race, went to do some work stuff. It was turned into a long day. Went and got some Chinese food for dinner. And typically, what I get when I get Chinese food for dinner, I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to have one of the Chinese beers, and people are very familiar with Sapporo. That's one of the beers that they have there, and you can get them in different places. One of my favorites, they were out of. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe you're out of the Tsingtao. No Tsingtao. And Tsingtao is this nice, light, refreshing Pilsner. So, this is what I found in my fridge, and this is the Poor Judgment Pils. Poor Judgment is a beer bar in Newport, Rhode Island, and the people who are doing the beer for them, also out of Rhode Island, Grace Ale. And so this is their Pilsner. So I didn't get that Pilsner, the one that I typically have, but I was like, well, I'm going to have some Pilsner with some Chinese food. So you already know where I'm going as far as Cicerone and food and things like that. Pilsner goes great with Chinese food for multiple reasons. So Pilsner is usually higher effervescent, and it's light and fluffy in its characteristic, which allows it to do one or two of the three things that you want anything to do when you're drinking a beer, when you have your food. Drinking anything, in my opinion, when you're having a food. You want it to cut, you want it to contrast, or you want it to complement. If it cuts through fatty flavors so you can get right to it. It will contrast, giving you this yin-yang of flavors that are going on, or will complement, and you're like, ooh, there's some of this and some more. Example, yesterday I was drinking an Imperial Stout. You're drinking an Imperial Stout, and you have it with chocolate cake. Complement. Those flavors go together. So I feel like with Pilsner, or this light style beer, European lagers, and definitely on the Pilsners, they're light, easy flavor with hops because they're balanced. It can't be all malt, and people say, oh, it's not hoppy enough. No, the hops are there. It's about here, sometimes up on this side, but it's balanced enough. That balance allows the malt to shine through and complement your food, but the hops can contrast or cut into things. So if you're having, say, egg foo young, the fattiness that goes with the gravy that you have with the egg foo young cuts right through that, gets to your palate. Ooh, very refreshing. It cleanses the palate, and now you enjoy the next bite of food. That's what you want in a good, clean, crisp lager and a Pilsner. Poor Judgment does that. Aroma. Let's go. Not Ritz crackers, the square white crackers. The saltines. Saltine crackers. That's what I'm getting there. Bready. Bread crust. Noble hops. Grassy. Yeah, that's nice aroma right there. And that is totally refreshing. Thirst quenching. Hot day beer. That's what you want. Again, give you a look at this can here. It says Poor Judgment. That's the beer bar. It's the Pilsner. And this is made by Grey Sail Brewing out of Rhode Island. And the peeps at Grey Sail are just super good to us anyway, as far as Team Beer Guts goes. And the things that we do as far as Bike MS and charity and the things that we want to be able to do. And it's also a launch, and I will throw this in here. So one of the other reasons I've been doing these videos is I need to start launching the campaign. And yes, we are a Bike MS focused team. Our team has made goal. I have made goal. I also have another big thing that I do, and that is the New England Parkinson's ride, and I will be looking for donations. So hopefully you follow along. This isn't just for donations. It's about the beer. It's also about bike rides. But it's also about community and one of the things that we do. So hopefully you're so inclined. If I'm entertaining you and giving you some of those things, well, I appreciate you following along. And we'll do all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going to do fundraisers for other causes. But the New England Parkinson's ride is coming up, and to be a VIP for that would be super cool. So, I'll throw the link in on the videos or on the page someplace. I'm not exactly sure how to do that, but anyway, that's something we'll be doing. Again, back to the beer though, and you can look at that later. Again, appreciate the insert commercial, whatever it is. So, super refreshing. What I like here is that it's clean. The finish is super clean. It dries out. When I say clean, it's like, oh, it's kind of gone. And it makes you want another sip. That's why it goes so good with food. This beer is for, they want to say it's under 5%. I have my glasses on. I don't see it. I should have looked at it before. I'm sorry. Most Pilsners, let's put that, style-wise on a Pilsner should be between 4.6 and 5.4%. Very technical. And Pilsner, again, can be in that range. You have German Pilsner, you have American Pilsner, you have Czech Pilsner. I'm going to say this is done the German style. They're so close. And yes, that's where I study, but I don't know it all yet. But it's not as dry and bitter as a German. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I'm going to say this is Czech. This is a Czech or Bohemian style Pilsner. A little bit more body to it, a little bit more mouthfeel. I'm going to go Czech or Bohemian, going completely blind on this. If I were to judge this beer, if this was in the German style, I might say it's a little bit too much body. If it's in the Czech style, I would think this is where this particular beer should be. So, kind of got a little geeked out on there, but yeah, that's what we do. And that's why you're joining along. To learn about beer, hopefully, and hear what I have to say about certain things. Hopefully I didn't bore you with too many beer details, and of course with race details. So, we are close towards the end of Le Tour de France for week 1. Yellow jersey is still in place. My favorite Alaphilippe has fallen behind, but not too far behind. And now we go into the mountains. And you know what you get with the mountains? Big climbs and big beers. So next week, look forward to lots of Imperial Stout, barley wine, those types of beers that we're going to talk about and review. Hopefully everybody has a amazing and great, safe 4th of July weekend. We will see you tomorrow. Le Tour de France, Le Tour de Beer. Cheers.